Greg Clugston, Washington.
President Trump says he'll meet Chinese leader Xi Jinping at a regional summit taking place in October in South Korea and will visit China early next year. Trump and Xi had a lengthy phone call on Friday. In a Truth Social post, Trump said Xi would come to the United States and noted the leaders made progress on the approval of the TikTok deal. More on these stories at townhall.com.
Guess who's watching Rob Finnerty on Newsmax? President Trump is. He even says Finnerty's show is so terrific. Millions are joining President Trump to watch Finnerty every night at 8 p.m. Eastern on Newsmax. All this week, Rob looks at the media's war on President Trump. Rob gives you the facts about the National Guard in cities like New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. He tells you the real truth about the Jeffrey Epstein files, and he reveals the big media's agenda on Trump's health. You need to watch Rob Finnerty on Newsmax. Check out your local cable system. Newsmax is on all major systems. Or download the free Newsmax app. It costs you nothing, and you can watch in minutes. Finnerty is the fastest-growing primetime news show in America. Find out why even President Trump is tuning in. More than 40 million Americans go to Newsmax for news they can trust. Because we are real news for real people.
Plenty of fireworks today on the Senate floor as lawmakers prepared to vote on a pair of contrasting continuing resolution bills to avoid a government shutdown. Bob Agnew reports.
Democrat leader Chuck Schumer urged his colleagues not
to stand with Donald Trump and keep the same lousy status quo.
But Majority Leader Republican John Thune called the House bill Republicans were supportive of clean and bipartisan, but he said the Democrat alternative was anything but.
Laden down with partisan policies and appeals to the Democrats' leftist base.
In the end, neither bill garnered the 60 votes needed for passage. Unless something changes now, the government is set to run out of funding at the end of the month. Bob Agnew reporting.
If there's no agreement by October 1st, the federal government will shut down. News and analysis at townhall.com. I'm Keith Peters.
Baseball and body slams collide at home plate. Palmetto Championship Wrestling invades Lexington County Baseball Stadium. It's the Grand Slam at the Lex. See reigning PCW heavyweight champion No Quit Jake Parker defend his title. Plus the Dawson Brothers in the Tag Team Chaos. Friday, October 17th. Gates open 6 p.m. Bell time 7:05 p.m. Tickets on sale now at GoBlowfish.com.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
It's Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football across the Palmetto State. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. We'll bring you scores and reports from every region of the state with expert analysis from David Shelton and interviews with coaches throughout the night. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, from the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia, here's your host, Phil Kornbluth.
Good evening, everybody. Welcome into the High School Football Scoreboard on this Friday night, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union all across the state of South Carolina, just like the High School Football Scoreboard, except we're in Missouri tonight. Would love to have gone out to see some Missouri high school football tonight, but just didn't have time. So we are coming to you from St. Louis, heading over to Columbia, Missouri, tomorrow for South Carolina and Missouri. But our focus is on what's happening back in South Carolina, where we got some really good football games tonight, got some region games in parts of the state as well. Some teams are having a bye week tonight, and then I guess really probably next week we'll start to get everybody into region play or right on the verge of it. And then definitely when we get into October, the run for the playoffs will begin. David Shelton will be joining us in a little bit. He's covering the Porter Gowd and Bishop England, the big rivalry game. in the Charleston area. He's covering that tonight. We'll hear from reporters around the state. Coach Scott Early is going to be joining us as well. He's at the Greenwood TL Hanna game tonight. He'll join us to talk about that and other things. By the way, next week we'll have the release of the rosters for both the Touchstone Energy North-South All-Star football game in Myrtle Beach as well as the Shrine Bowl in Spartanburg. The Touchstone rosters will be released on the 24th. That's a Wednesday. And the Shrine Bowl rosters will be coming out the next day on the 25th. We'll have that all covered for you on Sports Talk. So let's take a look at what's happening so far around the state of South Carolina, final scores, and we'll give you some in-progress scores as well. If you've been to a ball game and you want to share a score with us and you don't want to call, you want to text, just send it to our text line, which is 803-900-4847, 803-900-4847. Happy to take your score from there if you can give it to us accurately. As a matter of fact, as I look at text messages, thanks to everybody who sent text messages in and sent in scores. Strom Thurmond defeats Emerald tonight, 35-13. So a win for the Rebels there over Emerald. I think they did that on the road, 35-13. Strom Thurmond with the win there. That's a good win for them on the road tonight. Also from our text message line, tonight we have a final score of Woodruff big over Chesney, 52-17. 52-17. Woodruff with the big win over Chesney tonight. Up in the upstate, Woodruff is a powerhouse. They're having a great year. And that offense has been smoking all season long. So a win for Woodruff tonight over Chesney, 52-17. Other finals from the upstate. Mountain View Prep, no trouble with the Anderson Cavaliers. Maybe they should play the Anderson Trojans and not the Anderson Cavaliers. 49-6, that final score. Mountain View Prep over the Anderson Cavaliers, 49-6. Belton Honeypath shuts out Palmetto, 49-0. Central, a winner over Blacksburg, 40-6. Burns, a big offensive night and a big win, 45-3 over Wade Hampton. Strom Thurmond, as I mentioned, 35-13, a winner tonight over Emerald. Fountain Inn with a 49-7 win over St. Joseph's. Greer, 56, Berea, nothing. Pickens wins a high-scoring game with Blue Ridge, 42-35, and Woodruff over Chesney, as we said, 52-17. From the Football City I-77 corridor area, it's Indian Land over Parkwood of North Carolina, 48-0. Okay, Billy Baker is on the scene tonight. He's on the scene tonight of Dutch Fork and Oceanside Collegiate. And let's see what he's got for me right now. Red Hot Call, Dutch Fork, 5 minutes and 18 seconds left. Oceanside is leading 24-20. Oceanside up on Dutch Fork, 24-20, about 5 minutes ago in that one. They're playing that one down in Charleston, so
yes,
keep a...
And I got him on the phone line right now. Did you want to go to him? They're on the 6-yard line, Dutch Fork is, I believe.
Go to Billy Baker with the hot call. What you got, Billy?
Bill, it's a great hot call coming up. There's 10 seconds left here at Charleston Southern. Oceanside leads 24-20. This very well could be the last play of the ball game coming up. It is a fourth down play from the 6. Quarterback Jackson Knotts was just stopped for a 1-yard loss on a keeper run. They're about to hike the ball. This has been a back-and-forth game all night. And we'll see what happens here. It's a long count. And Knotts throws the ball. It is intercepted.
Oh.
Intercepted in the end zone. Oceanside Collegiate will win. Coach LaPrette's obviously big win in his first season as head coach. There is 3 seconds left, but this game is indeed over. Oceanside pulls off the upset, 24-20 tonight, of Dutch Fork, and I'll be back with Coach LaPrade, hopefully in about 10-15 minutes. But this has been a great game tonight. It was back and forth, but Oceanside gets an interception in the end zone with 3 seconds left, and they will win the ball game tonight, 24-20. I'll talk back on the air with Coach LaPrade in about 10-15 minutes. Big win for the Land Sharks. Thank you, Phil.
All right. Thank you very much. How about that?
Yeah,
Oceanside Collegiate, of course, they're an excellent program, no question about it. Defending state champion, but they changed coaches, of course, went through a coaching change last year, and they get one this. I mean, outside of winning a state championship, if you're Oceanside Collegiate, beating Dutch Fork, that is right up there, 24-20. Oceanside Collegiate knocks off Dutch Fork. Dutch Fork a chance to pull it out at the end, an interception in the end zone, wins it for Oceanside Collegiate, and I'd have to go check and see what kind of streaks this might break for Dutch Fork. I have to ask Lou Bajak about that. This was a year after, just seeing another tweet out there. This was a year after Dutch Fork beat OC 51-0. So they turned around and made a big turnaround this year. They lost 51-0 last year, and this year the Land Sharks win 24-20 down at their place. So big win for Oceanside Collegiate over Dutch Fork. You don't see Dutch Fork lose very much in state, and you certainly don't see them lose very much to a lower classification team, which was the case tonight. Okay. Thank you, Billy Baker, for that. When Billy Baker calls in with a hot call, you better get to it because you know it's a hot call. So where were we? Where were we giving you the scores? Let's go back to where we were. Indian Land defeats Parkwood of North Carolina 48-0. Around the Midlands, Batesburg, Leesville 56, Calhoun County 9. York 35, Dreer 28. Played that game last night. In the PD Grand Strand, Johnsonville defeats Lakeview 21-6. And South Florence big over Crestwood 42-0. And now to games in progress, and maybe we'll run across some other finals. But let me do a quick refresh of the page here so I've got the latest scores. So we do have some more finals mixed in here. These scores coming to you from WRHI up in the Rock Hill area. They do a great job compiling scores in that area. Northwestern obviously ticked off after the loss last week to South Point, took it out on Nation Ford, Jake Bentley's team, and beat them badly 75-21. In the fourth quarter, Clover and Rock Hill are tied at 21. Rock Hill giving quite the effort. And Clover undefeated going into this. So a tight one there. South Point and AC Flora. South Point has pulled away. This was, I think at one time the Falcons had the lead, or it was tight. Now it's 35-12. South Point in the fourth quarter leading AC Flora. This would be quite the statement win for South Point. Not that, I mean, last week was a statement win beating Northwestern, but now to go on the road and this holds up, beating an undefeated AC Flora team on the road. That's another statement win for South Point, 35-12. In the fourth quarter, Catawba Ridge 14, Fort Mill 10. In the fourth quarter, Chester 54, Union County 28. In the fourth quarter, Great Falls 22, Buford 21. In the fourth quarter, Andrew Jackson 45, Louisville 13. Another final, McBee gets their first win of the season. I believe it's their first win. They beat Chesterfield 35-14. Central beats Blacksburg 40-6. Fourth quarter, Lamar 13, North Central nothing. Fourth quarter, Dorman 31, Riverside 3. Here's a final. Ooh, what a ball game. T.L. Hanna beats Greenwood 22-21. T.L. Hanna over Greenwood 22-21. We will be getting reports on that coming up here in just a little bit, but what a ball game there. Also, in the fourth quarter, Spartanburg 38, Eastside 21. In the fourth quarter, well, now we had a final. We had final on this one, Burns beating Wade Hampton 45-3. Fourth quarter, Irmo 49, Myrtle Beach 14. And Third quarter score, Westwood 20, Blythewood 10. Fourth quarter, Sumter 27, Spring Valley nothing. In the fourth, Somerville 36, Chapin 7. Third quarter score, Westside 24, Prince Andrew School, I think that's out of Georgia, 24-6. In the fourth, Daniel is leading Clinton 31-27, as tight as we thought it would be. Camden, final over Richland Northeast, 61-15. In the fourth quarter, Dillon is up on Hartsville, 55-28. In the fourth quarter, Newberry leading Fairfield Central, 42-21. All right, let's see if we have some other scores from the upstate for you, courtesy of WSPA TV. And it was Christ Church beating Chapman 48-20. In the fourth quarter, Spartanburg 38, Eastside 27. Looking to see what we haven't mentioned. Fourth quarter, J.L. Mann 14, Easley 13. In the fourth quarter, Blue Ridge leading Pickens 50-42. I thought we had that as a final. Double check what we've got. Apparently, our score was an in-progress score. They've got an updated score of Blue Ridge leading Pickens 50-42 in the fourth quarter. So we'll stick with that. Broome and Powdersville were 14-14 at the half. And let's see, fourth quarter, West Oak 23, Landrum nothing. Fourth quarter, Greenville leading Woodmont 28-18. Fourth quarter, Carolina over Southside 6-0. Fourth quarter, Southside Christian 28, Saluda nothing. In the fourth quarter, now they've got a different score. They've got a score of Prince Avenue Prep leading Westside 59-26. A different score than what we had earlier. They've got it 59-26 Prince Avenue. All right. Halftime score was Crescent 27, 96-14. Fourth quarter, Hillcrest 27, Malden 7. And fourth quarter, Liberty 70, Walhalla 42. Oh, my goodness. Did the defensive coordinators take the night off? Liberty 70, Walhalla 42 in the fourth quarter. And Gaffney defeats Bowling Springs 34-7. Dorman over Riverside. Now it's a final. We get in the final. Thank you, Mustin Kapasi. Mustin Kapasi with the alert. Remember, Mustin Kapasi Glass in Spartanburg for all your glass needs. Dorman 31, Riverside 3. Chester in the fourth quarter over Union County 54-28. All right, there you go from Channel 7 in the upstate. And let me just check Midlands here very quick. Channel 19, scoreboard from around the Midlands. Let's see what they've got before we go to the break that we haven't mentioned. Northwood beat Ben Lippen 35-8. And River Bluff over Sherraw 67-19. Also, Eau Claire beat Ridge Spring Monetta 12-7. North Augusta over Gilbert 56-14. Gray Collegiate 38, Midland Valley 6. Hammond 56, Hilton Head Christian nothing. Heathwood Hall 41, Cardinal Newman nothing. Hunter Conard Tyler 44, Lake Marion 6. Hold on. Ladies and gentlemen, for those of you who have long listened to the high school scoreboard, this might be the earliest in the scoreboard we've ever had the Hunter Conard Tyler score. I feel so complete. I just feel complete now. HKT 44, Lake Marion 6. Lower Richland beat Darlington 36-12. West Florence over Lugoff Elgin 28-13. We continue. Orangeburg Wilkinson 35, Keenan 14. Northside Christian 32, Spartanburg Christian 14. Swansea 30, Barnwell 12. Westwood 31, Blythewood 20. White Knoll 34, Cane Bay 10. Wilson 26, Lakewood nothing. Wilson Hall 42, Camden Military 14. Very good, very good. News 19 in Columbia with those scores. Okay, let's run to the break, and we will come back with more in just a moment, getting some reporters lined up and others to come your way here as we go through the program tonight, off and running with a bunch of finals, including, we got to be ready for a hot call. That's stunning. I guess you have to call it stunning. I mean, Oceanside Collegiate, excellent program, defending state champion at a lower level, but they beat the King tonight. The King has been slain down there at Oceanside Collegiate. Back in a moment.
You were always more than my mom. You were my role model, my best friend, and biggest supporter. You filled my days with unconditional love, and you also prepared for the day when you couldn't be here. Because of the woman you were back then, I'm able to be the woman I am now. Your planning made this moment possible.
Set your family up for life. Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance. Your friends for life.
Life insurance isn't for you. It's for those you love the most. For a complete insurance review, call Buddy Bridges in Lawrence County at 864-923-2174, serving Lawrence, Clinton, and the shores of Lake Greenwood.
Southern Farm Bureau Life Insurance Company, Jackson, Mississippi. Not licensed to do business in all 50 states.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina. Like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
Are you in the market for an auto loan? Move now. Get an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union now through October 31st, and you'll be entered to win up to $25,000 toward your qualifying auto loan and a $5,000 deposit into your Loyalty Select account. Loyalty Select is our highest yield savings account. Leave it there to grow or transfer it out to spend. And the best part? We'll be choosing monthly winners, so the earlier you get your auto loan, the more chances you have to win. So don't wait. Visit foundersfcu.com/auto to learn more or begin your auto loan application today. Not a Founders member yet? Visit us online or stop by an office to learn more about Founders and see if you qualify for membership. We have the financial tools you'll need and the personalized service you deserve. Relax, you're with Founders. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
When South Carolina's best high school football players take the field at the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, they're backed by a powerful team of their own. As proud title sponsors, your local co-ops celebrate more than just a game. It's a tradition where talent shines, where teamwork matters, and where community spirit takes center stage. Don't miss the 78th Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium in Myrtle Beach, powered by your electric cooperative.
Already been a big night here on the high school football scoreboard with some of the scores that we've gotten in. Some surprises, including that big one down in the Charleston area. They played that game at the Citadel. Big win for Oceanside Collegiate over Dutch Fork. More on that to come. Let's hear from Taylor Novinger, voice of Crestwood High School. Traveled down to South Florence tonight. Taylor, you ran into a buzzsaw with the Bruins, 42-6.
42 to nothing, Phil. I kind of should have probably taken it to the house after I was pulling in a restaurant to get some dinner tonight, and I got a flat tire and it went straight to zero. I felt like that was a bad omen. I was lucky to get to the stadium in time, and I got there in time. Every time I go to Florenceville, they never let us in the press box. They always kick us out. I don't know what we've done to them. I've been nice to them. But South Florence got to a good start. Messiah Jackson, quarterback, very good, well advertised. He's got offers from Davidson, UNC Pembroke, Lenore Ryan. He ran the first touchdown in for South Florence, and then Parker ran in a touchdown. James ran in 2 scores, and it was 28-0 at halftime. Crestwood really had a hard time moving the football in that first half, and really struggled throughout the night. Even all the way up to the fourth quarter, they got to the 1-yard line and couldn't punch it in. So that South Florence defense is really good, and they've got a really good linebacker by the name of Terry Gordon. Offers from Presbyterian and Newberry and Anderson. He made a lot of stops in tonight's game, and South Florence was able to get a couple more scores in the second half, and they were able to get the victory 42-0. And Crestwood, again, nothing on offense, blank for the second game in a row. It's very concerning for the Knights.
Well, you guys got off such a great start. Of course, you've stepped up in competition here of late, so where do you go from here?
We play a really good Lower Richland team who I heard you mention already beat Darlington. So we got to go to their place on Friday night. So that'll be a tough test. And South Florence plays at Darlington next week as well.
So you guys are off next week?
No, Crestwood's at Lower Richland.
Oh, I'm sorry. You guys are playing at Lower Richland. Okay. Yeah, and LR got a nice win over Darlington tonight as well. Yep. Okay. Hey, thanks very much, Taylor. We appreciate it. make that 42-0. Yeah, 42-0 South Florence over Crestwood. Appreciate it, man. Talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. Take care, Phil.
You too. All right. So the Bruins continue to do their thing, 42-0. The final score there, and don't want to start another report here so close to the break. So you folks hanging on the phones, hang in there with us. We'll get to you here as soon as we come back from the break and get more reports on the air. Let me give you some more finals. Christ Church has beaten Chapman 48-20. The Daniel game has gone final. They beat Clinton 41-33. That's a heck of a win for the Lions going on the road. Spartanburg is leading Eastside 38-27 in the fourth quarter. And looking for any other finals, TL Hanna has beaten Greenwood. That's gone final 22-21. Gaffney 34-7 over Boiling Springs. Dorman beat Riverside 31-3. Dominating win for the Cavs. And Chester over Union County 55-36. BHP shuts out Palmetto 49-0. Hillcrest over Malden 47-7. That's in the fourth quarter. And Prince Avenue, I think it's called Prince Avenue Prep from Georgia, I think, beats Westside 59-34 tonight. So there you go. We'll hit this break right here on the High School Football Scoreboard, and we'll be back with more reports, more scores coming up.
This is Fran Halloran, the Money Coach. Grow with the point as we build on 10 incredible years of community local radio. We've built an environment where our listeners are our family. Are you a small business with big dreams? Join the tremendous stable of advertising partners at The Point. Connect with Kevin Cohen and brainstorm a tailored strategy to escalate your business growth using the powerful platform of The Point. Call Kev directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, you can make the next year your best year.
Are you tired of high cable TV rates? Sign up for Dish today and get a $500 bonus offer while supplies last. Plus, lock in your price for 2 years guaranteed. Call All American Dish, your Dish authorized retailer now.
800-380-4452. 800-380-4452. That's 800-380-4452.
Offers require credit qualification, 24-month commitment, early termination fee, and e-auto pay. Restrictions apply. Call for details.
The President said Xi would come to the United States and noted the leaders made progress on the approval of the TikTok deal to allow the popular social media app to keep operating in the U.S. This is SRN News.
When you bundle renters and auto with Progressive, you can save while protecting your most valuable possessions, like your really expensive limited edition sneakers and your new suit for your cousin's wedding. Except you never actually bought the suit because you can't stop buying sneakers. So you show up to the wedding looking like you're going grocery shopping. But hey, at least your sneakers will look good in the pictures, until you're cropped out of every last one of them. So go ahead and get Progressive, so you can save while protecting the things that matter to you. Progressive Casualty Insurance Company and affiliates and other insurers. Not available in all states or situations.
You ever wonder why Verizon charges twice as much as Pure Talk for the same basic service? Think it might have something to do with the fact that Verizon spends $12 billion a year on advertising and promotion. That's billion with a B. Yeah, Pure Talk doesn't spend that kind of money on commercials.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
After losing their first two games on the road, the Panthers look for a better result at home against the Falcons on Sunday. I'm Jim Zoki with a Panthers update after this.
Can you see that Panthers game?
Oh, yeah, I saw the whole thing.
The squad looks promising.
Sure do. I'm seeing some talent.
They got some pieces for sure.
And they got no quit.
You said it. Oh, what's your name?
Oh, I'm Jake.
I'm Luke. Nice to meet you.
Keep pounding. Go Panthers.
Go Panthers.
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Carolina Panthers. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
The Panthers not only have their home opener on Sunday, but also the first of their 6 NFC South Division games as they host Atlanta. Carolina is 0-2, while Atlanta is 1-1 after beating Minnesota last weekend. In that game, running back Bijan Robinson ran for 143 yards, plus another 25 yards receiving, and he does it all for Coach Raheem Morris.
Unique skill set, unbelievable vision, unbelievable teammate, speed, physicality. You know, like you come across, when you first meet him, you're thinking he's a scat back, but he's really just everything. He has the ability to get out of the backfield, run the receiver like routes. He can stay in the backfield and block whichever linebacker you decide to bring. He just does it all, and we might line him up at quarterback this week. Who knows?
Second-year quarterback Michael Penix Jr. has that job. Just one touchdown pass through 2 games, but is a talented young player. And Panthers cornerback Shaw Smith weighed on how they'll try to handle their passing game.
We know that he's a left-handed guy, but we're seeing him scan the field a little better than last year. So, you know, we're looking to stop those things as well. Michael, he's also a guy with a lot of experience. So, you know, we're going to look to scheme him up and make sure that we take away a lot of the things that he wants to attack.
I'm Jim Zoki on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network.
As an organ donor, your story doesn't have to end. The good in you can live on. In fact, you could save up to 8 lives and restore sight and health for many more. Sign up right now online as an organ, eye, and tissue donor. You'll be happy you did. And just maybe, someone else will be happy too. Go to organdonor.gov. It saves lives. U.S. Department of Health and Human Services, Health Resources and Services Administration.
By the way, before we do what's supposed to happen here, thank you for pushing the button. I thank you. Programming thanks you. America thanks you.
We are back on the high school football scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union all across the state of South Carolina. Welcome back in. It's been a very active night. David Shelton will be joining us in just a little bit to add more. We got more reports coming up, more people to talk to. We got a hot call, the second hot call of the first half hour of the show from Billy Baker, publisher of the High School Sports Report. We love Billy. He does a fantastic job. He's always on the scene at the right place at the right time, and he was tonight. He gave us that call on the last play by Dutch Fork, the interception, the end zone that saved the win for the Land Sharks of Oceanside Collegiate, and now he's got more. Hello, Billy.
Hello, Phil. I'm with a happy Brent LaPrade in his first year as head coach at Oceanside Collegiate, and big win tonight. With seconds left in the game, Dutch Fork was on the 6-yard line, and Cole Gasper will always remember the intersection of a lifetime. He picked the ball off in the end zone. It was a melee in the end zone and picked it off, and that was the last play of the game as Oceanside wins 24-20. I was trying to wait on the Dutch Fork final stats, and bad night for the stats keeper. First time in 21 years he could not get the final stats to print. But I will point out a couple things. Number 88, the outstanding senior receiver for Oceanside, catches a ball on an intentional pass interference in the third quarter that gave Oceanside a first down. No, he scored on the play. They declined the penalty, 59 yards, caught the ball inches off the ground one-handed, one of the best high school catches I've seen since A.J. Green made those years ago at Somerville. But I'll let Coach LaPrade tell you about this exciting game tonight. Here he is. We're at the 45-yard line at Charleston Southern University. Here is Brent LaPrade, whose team won tonight over Dutch Fork 24-20. Here he is, Coach LaPrade.
Very good. Very good.
Hey, how's it going?
Coach, congratulations. How you feeling?
Pretty excited, man. Kids played their behinds off tonight. It was a dogfight out there, and anytime you play a Dutch Fork team, it's gonna be a battle. And it was really, really proud of my kids. I'm a happy coach right now.
Oh, I bet. And especially, you lost big to them last year. The team went on to have a great year, and of course you were the defensive coordinator there, so you were part of that championship. Now you're the head coach, and now you get to turn it around and beat them in the regular season, and that doesn't happen very often with Dutch Fork, as you well know.
Yes, sir, absolutely. They've cut my behind enough times back in the old Fort Dorchester days. It was nice to finally get one on them, to be honest with you.
So tell us about the last defensive play. You being an old defensive coordinator, you probably feel – I know you're happy to win, but to win – with your defense coming up with a play at the end, you had to feel very good about that.
Yeah, it was great. I think they got the ball back with 4.5 minutes ago and drove the length of the field, converting on 3rd and 4th down after 3rd and 4th down. And we had them 4th and goal from the 6-yard line, and they sprinted out. And we had one of our safeties, Cole Gaspar, came up with a great play, picked the ball off to seal it. It was really a incredible effort by our defense all night. They played their butts off and played hard, and it was fun to watch.
I bet. What about the offensive side? You put 24 on the board. That was enough with your defensive effort. What did you see from your offense tonight?
They really played good. Our quarterback, Aiden Manavian's a junior. He's two-time state champ as a freshman and sophomore. He played a great game tonight. We kind of hung our hat tonight on the offensive line. It was tough for us to throw the ball the way they were playing us. So we ran the ball as much as we could and RPO'd them a couple times. And our two receivers, Anthony Williams and Terrence Johnson, came up big for us when we needed it. And it was a great team win tonight. It's great to see the guys. Our first 5 games are a gauntlet. We play Irmo, Calvary Day out of Savannah, Savannah Christian out of Savannah, Ashley Ridge, and then Dutch Fork. And these guys are beat up. I mean, they are beat to pieces. And to see them come out and play like they did tonight, I'm a happy coach.
Well, they're going to heal quickly because of the happiness from this win. What do you I guess now you turn your attention to your region schedule coming up, and this win, what kind of momentum does that give you think, going into region play?
Yeah, this is a big momentum swing for us. We treat these first 5 games. We schedule them so tough because it's like the 5 rounds of the playoffs. So we try to have the playoffs to start the season, and then we get into region play. And we got some tough teams in our region. Hanahan's a great coach team. We'll have to play good against them. And we're excited about going into region play. Our kids been working hard, and we look forward to trying to win another region championship and then trying to play December 5th at South Carolina State. That's our goal.
Understood. And that's, you might see Dutch Fork there, but they'll just be at a different time. You won't have to see them in person. I guess you're probably happy about that.
We don't ever want to see them again. They are a tall task to play. I mean, they got guys everywhere. They're the best coach team in the state. Coach Knox does the best job year in and year out. There's a reason he's got 16 state championships, because he's the best coach. So we were happy to squeak one out on him tonight, but I'm sure they'll be back in the state championship again and probably win it again. They're a great football team.
Did y'all have much of a conversation at midfield after the game?
No, I just told him good luck and go win the thing this year. You know, I know he's probably upset right now. He doesn't like losing. He's like me. So I try to keep it short after the games.
Understood. Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it. Congratulations. Good luck moving forward.
Thank you so much. I appreciate you, Phil.
Thank you, Coach. Brent LaPrade, head coach, first-year head coach, part of that LaPrade family of coaches and wrestling coaches and football coaches from down in the Charleston area, and building his own legacy. That's a brick in the wall right there. You beat Dutch Fork. That's a brick in the wall to build your own legacy right there. Congratulations to Oceanside Collegiate. Heck of a win for them tonight. Posted a couple of other finals. Crescent over 96, 59-21. Blue Ridge and Pickens got a final now of Blue Ridge 50 and Pickens 42. Like I said, not much defense played in that one. In overtime, Clover beat Rock Hill 28-21, so Clover stays undefeated. South Point has beaten AC Flora 35-12. So that's the first loss for the Falcons. Huge win on the road for South Point. After beating Northwestern last week, that's the way you follow up a great win, by going on the road and getting a great win again. All right, back to reporters standing by in the fields. Appreciate that. We go to Matt Smith. Smitty, the voice of the Socastee Braves. And tonight, your Socastee Braves taking on the Loris Lions. Smitty, how'd it go?
Well, not so well if you're a fan of the Socastee Braves. So the team that Oceanside Collegiate, who you're just talking about, beat in the lower state championship last year, Loris, moves to 5-0 with a 50-6 win over Socastee at Hennerford Field. Loris's offense was as good as advertised. They are averaging 43 points a game, so this 50-point outburst was not an outlier. And the Lions, get this, have had a running clock in 4 of their 5 wins. So they're kind of doing this to everybody. I got to see quarterback Zamir Moon-Gerald up close. He's a fantastic player. They've got a lot of success in front of them. Now, they lost their leading rusher to injury in last week's win over North Myrtle Beach, but they have athletes everywhere, and they've got Dillon coming up next week in a great rematch. They had a 30-27 all-time classic last year. You know those two teams don't like each other. That's how they'll open region play. Meanwhile, Socastee is going to limp into their bye week before they open region play in 2 weeks against Carolina Forest. So, look, nobody's going to feel bad for Socastee, but they've had tough tasks, 2 games in 1 week, road trips to Dillon and Wando. They got Stratford probably at the worst time last week, and they got Loris when they're hitting their stride. And then in 2 weeks, they get Carolina Forest, the defending Region 7 5A champs. So they're relatively healthy heading into their bye week, but their schedule has been an absolute bear, and I just hope that region play goes better for the Braves. And I'll tell you, they've got a bye week. I might have to take in that Dillon-Loris game. I want to see those two heavyweights collide.
That's going to be a great one. Dillon won tonight as well. So, Smitty, we appreciate it. Have a safe trip back home, and we'll talk to you over the weekend and next week.
I'll do my best to have a safe trip. There are no lights out here. There are no lights as far as I can see. Pray for the deer.
Well, do you have lights on your car?
Got lights on the car. That's it. It's me in the forest. Man versus nature.
All right, be careful. Appreciate it. Okay, so Loris, the Lions, they're mighty, and they are chewing up people left and right. You heard Smitty say they were averaging 43 points per game. So let me go back here. Got an update, a correction. That Clover Rock Hill game was not a final. We now have a final that was texted into us. Thank you very much. and it was Rock Hill beating Clover 35-34 in double overtime. So, Clover loses for the first time. Rock Hill, that's one of their biggest wins in a long, long time. They beat Clover tonight 35-34 in double overtime. Huge win there. Let's head to Garrett Mitchell with the story on the Woodruff win tonight. Talk about your offenses. Talk about chewing people up and spitting them out. Wolverines again tonight over Chesney, 52-17. Hello, Garrett.
Hey, Phil, how you doing tonight?
Good.
Well, I'll tell you what, we're doing pretty good down here in Woodruff, too. It was another impressive victory for the Wolverines, 52-17 over Chesney. And I found out after the ball game, it's the most points a Woodruff team has scored against Chesney since 1984, which coincidentally was the last year Woodruff won the state championship. So I don't know if that's a harbinger of things to come, but pretty cool coincidence. But Wolverines quick out of the gate tonight, up 14-0 on 2 runs. It was 21-3 at the end of the first quarter. Woodruff took a 24-10 lead into the halftime locker room, came out in the second half, got a quick stop, scored in 2 plays, and that was pretty much all she wrote at that point. Chesney was able to put 1 on the board on their first drive of the third quarter. And then, to be honest, it's as if the Woodruff defense took that as a personal affront, because I'm not sure that Chesney had 50 yards of offense the rest of the night.
So they matched their offense with some great defense.
They did, absolutely. And I haven't charted the stats yet. That's actually just as soon as I can go over here to Waffle House and grab some late dinner, I'll be on the way home to add the stats up. But unofficially, Woodruff was close to 500 yards rushing tonight, and for the second straight week, over 600 total yards of offense.
Wow. Are you getting it smothered and covered tonight?
You know what? I'll tell you what. I haven't made up my mind yet. I oscillate back and forth between the All-Star Special, but sometimes you can't go wrong with a good old-fashioned ham, egg, and cheese sandwich plate. Get the double plate scattered, smothered. So that's one of my favorites, too.
Love it all. Never get a bad meal at Waffle House. That's guaranteed. Okay.
No,
hey,
you can't.
Thanks.
That's Friday tradition.
You got it. Garrett, thank you, brother. Talk to you next week. Good job as always.
Sounds good. Wolverines travel to Wren next Friday night in what should be a really, really tough non-conference matchup, and it's the final non-region game for the Wolverines before they open conference play with Broome in 2 weeks.
All right, brother. Thank you very much. Talk to you next week. And that Wren game, there should be a lot of points scored in that one, I would think. Let's see, any other finals we've got in here that we haven't mentioned to you at this point. Let's see, we did that one. West Florence over Lugoff Elgin 28-13. Orangeburg Wilkinson beat Keenan 35-14. I'm just looking for things that we haven't given you. Somerville 50, Chapin 14. That's a final. Columbia High 27, Wagner Sally 12. It's gone final. Westwood 31, Blythewood 20. Wilson 26. Lakewood nothing. Wilson Hall 42. Camden Military 14. Scores from WLTX 19 in Columbia. Hit the break and come back with more reports. And we should be getting is David Shelton anywhere in our future? Plumber, do we know?
He will be with us after this break.
Oh, well, I'm excited about that. And we're going to ring up Coach Scott Early. And I think we have another guest we're going to dial up as well. We'll get to that, too. So we'll be back. High School Scoreboard brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union right here on the Sports Talk Media Network.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at experiencecolumbiasc.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Maybe your credit's seen better days, or maybe it's just never been quite where you want it to be. At Founders Federal Credit Union, we get it. Life happens. Things don't always go according to plan. But that doesn't mean your goals are out of reach. Whether it's a car to get to work or a little extra breathing room in your budget, we offer personal and auto loans to help you move forward. With flexible terms and a team that treats you like a person, not a number. We take the time to understand because you don't need a perfect credit score to start your next chapter. Visit a local Founders office or foundersfcu.com to learn more. Founders, helping you do life on your terms, helping you build a brighter financial future. All it takes is one visit to foundersfcu.com to get you started. Relax. You've got this with Founders. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosseller Brown. Did you know Lawyer Lisa offers a prevention plan add-on to our services? If you already have a trust or just need some updates, ask about getting your ducks in a row and getting all of your wishes set out before it's needed. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef. It's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff Program.
All right, welcome back to the high school football scoreboard. Mullins has beaten Atlantic Collegiate 38-14. I think I just saw a final flash up here on the Spartanburg game as well. Let me put my eyes on that very quickly. Then we'll get David Shelton on the line with us and then more reports. See if I can get a final here on that Spartanburg game. Well, let's go ahead and get David on the line. David, welcome in. Good to have you with us. First of all, tell us about your game, Bishop England, Porter-Gaud tonight, big rivalry game. What you got?
Yeah, the Holy War goes the way of the Catholics tonight. They beat the Episcopalians 40-23. Quinn Mahoney, the quarterback for the Bishops, had a hand in 5 touchdowns, had well over 200 yards passing. He's really a good player. He's committed to Campbell. But he's a really good player, kind of a late developer, late bloomer type. But, the game was very close. It was 14-13 at half. Porter-Gaud was finding ways to stay in the game. And a big turning point came on their first drive of the third quarter. They faced a 4th and 1 from their own 39 and didn't make it. They went for it instead of punting. They didn't make it, and Bishop England scored, and that kind of kept it in a double-digit type lead, and then Bishop England scored a couple late. But the Bishops are 4-0. They're ranked 5th in 4A, and that region over there, Region 7 4A, is going to be very competitive. It's Bluffton's very good. Hilton Head's pretty good. I think it's going to be a really good battle between those schools.
So that's a good win there, big win for Bishop England. Let's turn our attention real quick to the upset of the night. I guess we call it the upset of the night. Dutch Fork losing at Oceanside Collegiate. You're very familiar with that OC program. Your thoughts on, they've won a state championship. It's hard to top that, but team that beat them 51. Yeah. But they're coming off a state. And a team that beat them really badly last year, and they get them this year. That's got to rank right up there for them.
Yeah, I definitely think this is one of their, other than the state championship games, this is probably the biggest win in their history, because Dutch Fork is Dutch Fork, and we say it every year. They are the premier program, so to be able to not only stay close but to win it, Dutch Fork's right there knocking on the door at the end. I think it was about the 4 or 5 yard line on 4th down, and if they convert there, and Oceanside loses the game. So the difference is Dutch Fork didn't convert, and Oceanside. I said it on Bobby Hart's show today. I said if they can just get that game to the 4th quarter with a shot, I think they're good. That little quarterback, Manabian, he's a player. And I said, they got good receivers. They got a really nice running back. They're big up front. I mean, they're a quality football team. And I think people, Irmo beat them to start the year, and then they lost to that team from Savannah that's really good. But now they've won 3 in a row, and they beat Ashley Ridge and Dutch Fork in consecutive weeks. So I think you're starting to see Oceanside kind of put it all together. Now they can't let this win, get to their head. But their conference is not really strong, so I really think they're about to go on a big run.
All right, a couple of other finals. It's now a final. Spartanburg High School, a lot of points in this one. They outscore Eastside 48-34. And another final we've gotten in overtime. Great Falls beat Buford 36-34. Let's go to Thomas Grant before we get to the top of the hour. And Thomas, you were at the Keenan game tonight here in the Midlands. Keenan and OW. How'd that one turn out?
Well, this was a game where Orangeburg-Wilkinson, once again, it sort of showed that they had – basically it was all about playmakers tonight for them. They won 35-14. The first half was basically about big plays bid by wide receivers. The quarterback, Brendan Peoples, he first had on the first drive, had a 13-yard touchdown pass to make it 7-0. And then on the next drive of the next series, he made a play which ended up being a 53-yard touchdown pass to make it 14-0. And then sure enough, Keenan with for a sophomore, and Jamari Johnson, who's making his second start. And I just will say this just as an aside, Cameron McMillan was watching from the sidelines, but he's still not eligible to play. But he ended up throwing a 53-yard touchdown pass himself to Jordan Wilson to make it 14-8. Just before halftime, Orangeburg-Wilkinson was able to take the lead again on a 59-yard catch by Dylan Hartwaker to make it 21-8 at halftime. It stayed scoreless through the third quarter. The fourth quarter started with Keenan getting an interception from their defensive lineman. That set up a touchdown run by Darius Dixon to make it 21-14. And from there it was all Orangeburg-Wilkinson, basically on the running plays of Christopher Glover.
All right, Thomas, thank you for that. Appreciate the report. It's the top of the hour. We'll be back.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point.
News this hour from Town Hall. I'm Ron Taylor. 2 continuing resolutions to keep the government operating have failed in the Senate today, and both sides are blaming the other for the defeat. Senate Minority Leader Chuck Schumer says Republicans would to be blamed for a shutdown.
Senate Republicans just voted to shut the government down with a partisan bill that gives Donald Trump everything he wants and nothing the American people need.
While Senate Majority Leader John Thune says Democrats are dragging out a process they know will not succeed.
They're trying to use what they think is leverage to get a bunch of stuff done that's never going to happen. I mean, can you imagine anything in that bill that they sent that we voted down today passing in the Republican House of Representatives? Absolutely not. It's just not serious. they're not being serious.
The new budget year begins October 1st, increasing prospects for a partial government shutdown on that date. President Trump will meet with China's leader, South Korea, next month. White House correspondent Greg Clugston has more.
Following a 2-hour phone call with Chinese President Xi Jinping, the president announced he will meet with Xi in South Korea in late October and will visit China early next year. Writing on his social media platform, the president said Xi would come to the United States at an appropriate time. He also said they made progress on approving a TikTok deal to allow the popular social media app to keep operating in the U.S. Greg Clugston, Washington.
Federal officials say hundreds of flights in and out of Dallas were delayed or canceled Friday as equipment issues disrupted one of the nation's busiest airports. The FAA says it was slowing flights at Dallas-Fort Worth International Airport because of a reported local telephone company equipment issue. Wall Street tacking on more gains as it glided to the finish of its latest record-setting week, the S&P 500, rising 0.5% Friday. The Dow added 0.4%. The Nasdaq climbed 0.7%. News and analysis at townhall.com.
Guess who's watching Rob Finnerty on Newsmax? President Trump is. He even says Finnerty's show is so terrific. Millions are joining President Trump to watch Finnerty every night at 8 p.m. Eastern on Newsmax. All this week, Rob looks at the media's war on President Trump. Rob gives you the facts about the National Guard in cities like New York, Chicago, and Los Angeles. He tells you the real truth about the Jeffrey Epstein files, and he reveals the big media's agenda on Trump's health. You need to watch Rob Finnerty on Newsmax. Check out your local cable system. Newsmax is on all major systems. Or download the free Newsmax app. It costs you nothing, and you can watch in minutes. Finnerty is the fastest-growing primetime news show in America. Find out why even President Trump is tuning in. More than 40 million Americans go to Newsmax for news they can trust. Because we are real news for real people.
A Taliban crackdown to prevent immorality is spreading across Afghanistan.
More and more provinces are losing access to fiber optic internet after the country's leader imposed a complete ban on the technology. It's the first time a ban of this kind has been imposed since the Taliban seized power in August 2021. Mobile internet remains functional, however. The northern Balkh province confirmed a Wi-Fi shutdown on Tuesday with reports of severe disruption in other parts of the country. Keith Peters, Washington.
The backlash against Israel over the humanitarian toll of the war in Gaza has spread into arenas of sports and culture. Days of chaos at one of cycling's biggest races in Spain. Basketball fans booing the Israeli national anthem. Threats to boycott one of Europe's signature entertainment events if Israel takes part. Israel's critics say it should be sidelined from international events like Russia has been since its full-scale invasion of Ukraine in 2022. More.
Do you crave growth for your business? That's where The Point comes in. Fran Halloran here. Kevin Cohen and the other local hosts like me have worked to create a space where listeners transform into family. Are you a local business aiming for the stars? You need to get with Kevin and let him help create an individualized blueprint for your growth using the influential stage of The Point Radio. Reach out directly at 563-8558. Teaming with The Point, make this year extraordinary.
WQXL Columbia, W264DF.
Grills, outdoor kitchens, fireplaces. Summer sizzle starts with Bart. This is 107 The Point. This is The Point. Make thepointradio.com.
It's Friday night in South Carolina, and that means high school football across the Palmetto State. Welcome to the Founders Federal High School Scoreboard on the Sports Talk Media Network. We'll bring you scores and reports from every region of the state with expert analysis from David Shelton and interviews with coaches throughout the night. The High School Scoreboard is proudly brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union. Relax, you're with Founders. Now, from the Scoreboard Studios in Columbia, here's your host, Phil Kornblut.
And welcome back to the High School Football Scoreboard here on the Sports Talk Media Network, brought to you by Founders Federal Credit Union on this very busy Friday night. If you're just tuning in, let's catch you up on all the final scores we've been able to collect to this moment. There's a few more finals we're still trying to locate, but this is what we've got so far as we move from the upstate Across the state, it looks like this. Mountain View Prep 49, Anderson Cavaliers 6, Belton Honeypath 49, Palmetto nothing, Central 40, Blacksburg 6, Burns 45, Wade Hampton 3, Christ Church 48, Chapman 20, Daniel 41, Clinton 33, Dorman 31, Riverside 3, Spartanburg 48, Eastside 34, Strom Thurmond 35, Emerald 13, Fountain Inn 49, St. Joseph 7, Gaffney 34, Boiling Springs 7, Greer 56, Berea nothing, J.L. Mann 14, Easley 13, Liberty 70, Walhalla 42, Hillcrest 29, Malden 7, Crescent 59, 96, 21, Blue Ridge 50, Pickens 42, Southside Christian 28, Saluda nothing, Seneca 42, Travelers Rest 10, Carolina 6, Southside nothing, T.L. Hanna 22, Greenwood 21, Greenville 28, Woodmont 18, Woodruff 52, Chesney 17. Let me also add in here, that was not on my sheet, I've seen the final, Prince Avenue of Georgia 59 and Westside 34. Westside playing a lot of tough teams this year and taking it on the chin as they fall 59 to 34 to Prince Avenue Christian out of Georgia. Okay, to the Football City I-77 corridor. In overtime, Great Falls 36, Buford 34. It was Chester 55, Union County 36, Indianland 48, Parkwood of North Carolina nothing, Northwestern 75, Nation 4-21. In double overtime, Rock Hill beat Clover 36-34. And I need to get that Catawba Ridge and Fort Mill final. I got it right here. Catawba Ridge beat Fort Mill 14-10. Catawba Ridge 14 and Fort Mill 10 to close out that sheet for us. Let's go to the Midlands. It was South Point 36, AC Flora 12. Swansea beat Barnwell 30-12. Batesburg Leesville 56, Calhoun County 9. Somerville 50, Chapin 14. Columbia 27, Wagner Sally 12. York 35, Dreer 28. Orangeburg Wilkinson 35, Keenan 14. Hunter Connor Tyler 44, Lake Marion 6. Wilson 26, Lakewood nothing. Camden 61, Richland Northeast 15. Sumter 54, Spring Valley nothing. And got to find a final on that Newberry and Fairfield Central game. I got to believe we got a final here somewhere. Let me just check real quick, see if I can put my eyes on it. Here we go. Newberry 45, Fairfield Central 34. So let's get that one on the sheets. Newberry 45, they stay undefeated. Big offensive night. Let me also see if I've got a final here on the Pillion game. Nope, no final yet on Pillion in Mid-Carolina. So let's go to the CSRA, where Gray Collegiate beat Midland Valley 38-6. North Augusta 56, Gilbert 14. Eau Claire 12, Ridge Spring Monetta 7. Lincoln County of Georgia 48, Silver Bluff 14. See if we have a Brooklyn-Casey final in from tonight. Yes, Brooklyn-Casey beat South Aiken 35-14. So let's put that down on our sheets as well. 35-14 BC with the win there. To the PD Grand Strand. Waccamaw 50, Andrews 14. Mullins 38, Atlantic Collegiate 14. Carolina Forest 40, Ashley Ridge 27. Carvers Bay 20, Hanapampico 14. River Bluff 67, and Cheraw 19. McBee 35, Chesterfield 14. Conway beats Aner. This score just coming in. Conway beats Aner 32-23. Lower Richland over Darlington 36-12. Dillon 62, Hartsville 35. Johnsonville 21, Lakeview 6. Lake City 20, East Clarendon 14. Lamar 47, North Central nothing. David Shelton, as I read this score, I have a question for you. Latta 48, Green Sea Floyd's 2. The Latta train is rolling. Can anybody stop it?
Not tonight.
48-2.
It can't be stopped tonight. Yeah, they'll have a game or two coming up. Lakeview, which is, always a good game, and then Johnsonville. But, yeah, they're rolling right now. You got to think that they can be a major player in the Class A playoffs later this year.
I don't think.
Long ways to go. We'll see.
Oh, yeah. I don't think Latta scored under 40 points all season, or maybe just once. I mean, they've really had the offense. Loris beat Socastee 50-6. Kingstree 22, Marion 7. Irmo over Myrtle Beach. Big offensive night for the Yellow Jackets. They win it 59-21. 59-21 for Irmo. Marlboro County 21, North Myrtle Beach 3. South Florence 42, Crestwood nothing. James Island 63, St. James 7, and West Florence beat Lugoff Elgin 28-13. Low Country, Baptist Hill 56, Bethune-Bowman nothing. Buford 48, Battery Creek nothing. White Knoll 34, Cane Bay 10. Hanahan 49, Timberland 20. Lucy Beckham 36, Bluffton 20. Cross 61, Military Magnet nothing. Of course, the big one, Oceanside Collegiate 24, Dutch Fork 20. Bishop England 40, Porter-Gaud 23. Stratford 51, Colleton County nothing. Skeeza, Wilson Hall 42, Camden Military 14. Heathwood Hall 41, Cardinal Newman nothing. Williamsburg Academy 34, Florence Christian 21. Hammond 56, Hilton Head Christian nothing. Kings Academy 26, Cathedral Academy 16. Thomas Sumter 12, Lee Academy nothing. Northwood Academy 35, Ben Lippen 8. PD Academy 44, Carolina Academy 36. Okay, we'll fill in all the other scores as we can get them. What you got, David?
Skeeza in Dorchester Academy 21, Buford Academy 8.
21-8, okay. Have you heard anything on those low countries we were not announcing, like Hilton Head, Hampton County, Burke or Ridgeland, St. John's Academic, Wando, West Ashley?
Have not yet.
All right, we're looking for those. We'll pass along other finals as they come in. Before we get back to reports, David, the scores across the state, we talked about Dutch Fork. I guess you got to touch on AC Flora and South Point. Thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, I thought AC Flora was off to a great start. I didn't think their schedule was very difficult. I knew this was going to be a very difficult challenge for them. They're really good on offense, but defense they're going to have to get better if they want to make a run. South Point appears to be putting it all together, and they scored some points tonight and held AC Flora well under their average. So, South Point is going to be South Point. We might as well get ready for them to be a major player coming down the stretch.
Any other game you want to talk about that really raised your eyebrows tonight?
It didn't raise my eyebrows, but, that sounds like that Hannah Greenwood game was as advertised. Greenwood plays close games every week. But Hannah's defense must have done a pretty good job because the whole Greenwood to 21 points is well below their average. So I guess your buddy, has Selman already come on?
Have not. We have not gotten our reports yet.
Okay, so I'll be interested to hear how that game unfolded.
Me too. We'll clear the lines, and hopefully he'll be able to get through to us. Let's go to Justin Mathis. Dorman, big win tonight, Justin, 31-3 over Riverside. Good offensive night, good defensive night.
Yes, sir, it was, Phil, and also a good night for the Cavaliers as they were able to celebrate homecoming night here in Roebuck, South Carolina this evening. And also for the Coach Jake Morris and the coaching staff were also able to rotate in a lot of that second group, get them some valuable playing time in a region contest. Dorman struck quickly in that first quarter, jumping out. They forced a pair of 3-and-outs for Riverside, and Meek Slidell, the quarterback for Dorman, executed a nice play fake, rolled to right, and found tight end Camden Miller in the pattern, and the big fella rumbled his way to the end zone for a 24-yard touchdown reception. That was the first touchdown for the Cavaliers through the air this year. Little interesting stat there for you. And then Dorman struck about 3 minutes later with a 4:36 left in the first with a 5-yard Jabez Thomas touchdown run that was set up by a 50-yard pass to Tragan Miller. And then Dorman eventually closed out the first quarter where freshman running back Carter Nash punched it in from 7 yards out. Dorman built a 28-0 lead at the half, forcing a Warrior turnover on downs at the Dorman 31-yard line. Slidell dropped back and fired a strike down the sideline to Deshaun Watkins-Himes, and that ultimately held up as the Warriors added a field goal with 9:27 to play in regulation from 32 yards out. William Hall split the upright, and Renson Farr hit a 23-yarder as well for Dorman. But all in all, great night for the Cavaliers. You start out reaching 2-5A play, 1-0, which sets up for a huge, huge showdown with longtime rival Burns next Friday night.
Ooh, and Burns got a big win tonight, lopsided as well. And Justin, we thank you as always. Have a great night. We'll talk to you next week.
Yes, sir. The Cavaliers look to get this one back after letting it slip away last year against the Rebels.
Should be a good one. Look forward to it. Thank you, man.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. All right. West Oak beat Landrum. Fill in a couple of finals here. West Oak beat Landrum by a final score of 36-16. So I want to make sure we get this off of our sheet here in the upstate. And also should have a Broome and Powdersville final here real quick. And let's see what we've got. Broome, high-scoring game here, 53-45. Broome gets the win over Powdersville, 53-45 there for Broome over Powdersville. So let's go to Richard Sally. Get another report in before the break. Richard Sally, Skeeza action, Greenwood Christian action tonight. Orangeburg Prep and Greenwood Christian. How'd that one turn out, Richard?
Well, it was kind of a disappointing loss for the Indians tonight. They kind of jumped out to a big lead, but some big plays kind of turned the momentum. 3:15 to go in the first quarter. Charlie Williams hits Max Judy on a 38-yard touchdown pass. Charlie Williams on the 2-point conversion. Orangeburg Prep up 8-0. 10:21 to go in the second quarter. Charlie Williams hits T. Riley on a 20-yard touchdown pass. The extra point fails. Orangeburg Prep up 14-0. 4:17 to go in the second quarter. Leland Reed hits Ty Kennedy on a 4th and 30 from 30 yards out for a one-handed touchdown catch. Extra point good by Holland Poole, 14-7 Orangeburg Prep. 9 seconds to go in the half. Leland Reed hits Ty Kennedy on a 4th and 16 for a 16-yard touchdown pass. We'll go into a halftime tied 14-14. Greenwood Christian takes the opening kickoff of the second half, drives down, scores on a 3-yard run from Holden Poole. The extra point's good. Greenwood goes up 21-14. 3:59 to go in the third. Charlie Williams hits T. Riley on a 12-yard touchdown pass. Charlie Williams' kick is good, 21-21. 1:43 to go in the third. Leland Reed hits Bryson Dixon on a 4th and 6, 53-yard touchdown pass for Greenwood to go up 27-21. And then finally with 7:24 to go in the fourth, Leland Reed on a 1-yard run for a 34-21 win for Greenwood Christian. Some real deflating plays there for Orangeburg Prep. Thought they were ready to roll, but momentum swung and just couldn't get it back.
And that final again was 44-31?
34-21.
34-21. Okay. Yeah. Takes me 2 times to get scores right. 34-21. Right. Hey, thank you so much, Richard. Appreciate it. Talk to you next week.
All right, got one score for you. I haven't heard yet. Calhoun Academy beat Andrew Jackson 41-13.
41-13, Calhoun Academy over 13.
Andrew
41.
Jackson.
Yeah, 41-13.
41-13, Calhoun over Andrew Jackson.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you.
Bye-bye.
And Alan Smothers sends us an update on the Lake City East Clarendon score. Actual final was 22-14. Want to make sure we get that right. 22-14, Lake City over East Clarendon. Okay, run to the break. We'll come back with more reports here, more from David Shelton as well. We will continue to bring you other finals as they come in. We'll run back through the scores if possible as well. So do not go away. We got a whole bunch more coming your way tonight right here on the High School Scoreboard. Be right back.
Your home is where your memories live. It's where you laugh and where you love. We understand the importance of the valuables under your roof, tangible and intangible alike. So no matter what's around the corner, we'll be there, offering you and your family the support that's made Farm Bureau Insurance a trusted name for nearly 70 years. You deserve more. You deserve a promise. Learn more at scfbins.com.
Call me, Alex Satterfield, at 803-749-9171 for all of your Midlands insurance needs.
Are you in the market for an auto loan? Move now. Get an auto loan from Founders Federal Credit Union now through October 31st, and you'll be entered to win up to $25,000 toward your qualifying auto loan and a $5,000 deposit into your Loyalty Select account. Loyalty Select is our highest yield savings account. Leave it there to grow or transfer it out to spend. And the best part? We'll be choosing monthly winners. So the earlier you get your auto loan, the more chances you have to win. So don't wait. Visit foundersfcu.com/auto to learn more or begin your auto loan application today. Not a Founders member yet? Visit us online or stop by an office to learn more about Founders and see if you qualify for membership. We have the financial tools you'll need and the personalized service you deserve. Relax, you're with Founders. Terms and conditions apply. Membership qualification required.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
Hi, I'm Lisa Hosteller Brown. Did you know your will is designed for your assets to pass through the probate court? If you want to keep your loved ones out of court, a revocable trust is a great place to start. Visit lawyerlisa.com for more information and to see how we can help.
Call Lawyer Lisa. Experience the difference with Lawyer Lisa.
7511 St. Andrews Road, Irmo, South Carolina.
Straight Up Sports is simply all sports, all the time. Straight Up Sports is a collection of retired and award-winning sports writers and sports broadcasters from around South Carolina. Like Bob Gillespie from the State Newspaper, Scott Kiefer from the Greenville News, and Mark Sturgis from ESPN Upstate. Straight Up Sports is about the stories, just like the days gone by with no editors nor managers involved. Check us out on Facebook or Twitter or online at straightupsports.net.
All right, let's get back at it. Appreciate everybody checking in with us tonight. I know you get a lot of busy signals. You have to fight through it. We appreciate you. Appreciate your patience. Let's go to Monty Dutton. Clinton at home tonight. Boy, it had to be a classic football game over in Clinton tonight between Daniel and Clinton, 41-33. How did the Lions pull it out, Monty?
Well, I guess it was just about what you'd expect, and that Daniel had the better of the passing game and Clinton had the better of the rushing game. Red Devils won the overall offense 357 to 336, and Javen Cook, who had over 200 yards last week, had 156 yards and 3 touchdowns. However, Daniel quarterback Jace Grass completed 13 of 26 yards for 26 passes for 145 yards and 2 touchdowns. Clinton led 19-17 at half and 27-17 in the third quarter. However, Daniel came through with 2 touchdowns and a field goal in the fourth quarter, and the Red Devils scored at the end of the game on a 20-yard touchdown pass from Owen Glenn to P.J. McGowan. You know, Clinton, they're 2-3. Daniel is 3-1, but Clinton will not play its first 2A game until 2 weeks from now. So the 2-3 record is not anything to get upset about. And Daniel is a team that has beaten Clinton 4 times since the Clinton won in the playoffs on a state championship team in 2009. So Daniel has dominated the recent series, leads it overall 9-5 over the Red Devils. It was a really, really entertaining game that was just, you know, Clinton played pretty well. I think it's fair to say that Daniel used its a little bit better depth and wore Clinton down in the fourth quarter. But one thing that's different this year is last year en route to the 2A state championship, Clinton did not play that many close games. And this year they've played one close game after another. So I think the Red Devils will be heard from when the playoffs run around again. And Daniel played, you know, Daniel's an excellent program. And it was, like I said, Daniel did most of the passing, Clinton did most of the rushing, and there wasn't anything surprising about that.
Nope, that kind of follows form there. And, Monty, we're going to run because we're tight. But thank you so much. Appreciate that report. Let's keep it on US 76. Go down to Newberry. Hugh Gray, Newberry, a big win over Fairfield Central. Big offensive night, Hugh, 46-34.
Yeah, Phil, you know, the Bulldogs stopped a losing streak last week, and they did it again this week, but you just weren't sure that was going to turn out in that manner in the first quarter. Andreas Walker for the Griffins took the opening kickoff 85 yards, and then Caden Diggs scored on the next play for Fairfield Central to take the lead. But Newberry, not to be outdone, Ty Abrams took the first play, 69 yards, and then Ken Caldwell took it in for the score on the next play, tied it up at 7. Fairfield Central got another touchdown on a 4th and 1 at the 2. They scored there to go up 14-7. Newberry on a Kenton Caldwell 61-yard touchdown, tied it up with 10-14 to go in the half. And from there, Newberry was able to score again on a Ty Abrams touchdown to take a 21-14 lead. The Griffins, though, with Caden Diggs at quarterback, he threw a beautiful 40-yard pass to Ty Shannon for a score, tied it up there. But after that point, the Bulldogs scored a couple of touchdowns to take a 35-21 lead into halftime.
All right, hang on, Hugh. Hang on, buddy. We got to hit this break. Be right back.
Hello, this is Stacy Huff, host of Huff Nation Sports Zone, each and every Saturday, 10 to 11 a.m. right here on 100.7 FM, The Point, and also 1470 a.m. It'll be a fun trip around the world of sports. Huff Nation Sports Zone, check it out.
When I served in Iraq and Afghanistan, my buddies and I would do anything for each other. That's important whether you're in a firefight or fighting to regain your life. When I came home injured, there are people I can count on, like DAV.
DAV, Disabled American Veterans, stands behind America's veterans to make their transition back home easier with free services and help getting the benefits they've earned. Help us fulfill the promise to our men and women who served. Go to DAV.org to learn more.
Answering the call. Running in when everything you feel says run out.
pushing yourself beyond your known limits to help. Living to tell the story. Visit scvolunteerfire.org.
With SRN News, I'm Ron Taylor. The Senate rejected competing measures to fine federal fund agencies for a few weeks when the new budget year begins, October 1st, increasing prospects for a partial government shutdown on that date. Leaders of the two parties sought to blame the other side for the standoff as Democrats accused Republicans of not negotiating with them to address some of their priorities on health care as part of the funding measure. Republicans said Democrats were making demands that would dramatically increase spending and were not germane to the core issue of keeping the government open. President Trump says he will meet with Chinese leader Xi Jinping at a regional summit taking place in October in South Korea and will visit China early next year. In a Truth Social post, the president said Xi would come to the United States and noted the leaders made progress on the approval of the TikTok deal to allow the popular social media app to keep operating in the U.S. This is SRN News.
Want to hear my success story? I'm Fran Halloran, the money coach. I'm celebrating a decade of partnering with The Point. It's one of the best decisions I ever made. I've used The Point to significantly grow my small business. It started with a meeting with Kevin Cohen. Do you own a small business? Are you on a limited budget? No problem. Reach out to Kev at 563-8558. Get a customized plan and start your journey to business growth with The Point today. Success is one call away. Take the leap.
After losing their first two games on the road, the Panthers look for a better result at home against the Falcons on Sunday. I'm Jim Zoki with a Panthers update after this.
Can you see that Panthers game?
Oh, yeah. I saw the whole thing.
The squad looks promising.
Sure do. I'm seeing some talent.
They got some pieces for sure.
And they got no quit.
You said it. Oh, what's your name?
Oh, I'm Jake.
I'm Luke. Nice to meet you.
Keep pounding. Go Panthers.
Go Panthers.
Make a new friend based solely on their shirt choice. What would you like the power to do? Bank of America, the official bank of the Carolina Panthers. Copyright 2025 Bank of America Corporation.
The Panthers not only have their home opener on Sunday, but also the first of their 6 NFC South Division games as they host Atlanta. Carolina is 0-2, while Atlanta is 1-1 after beating Minnesota last weekend. In that game, running back Bijan Robinson ran for 143 yards, plus another 25 yards receiving, and he does it all for Coach Raheem Morris.
Unique skill set, unbelievable vision, unbelievable teammate, speed, physicality. You know, like you come across, when you first meet him, you're thinking he's a scat back, but he's really just everything. He has the ability to get out of the backfield, run the receiver like routes. He can stay in the backfield and block whichever linebacker you decide to bring. He just does it all. And we might line him up at quarterback this week. Who knows?
Second-year quarterback Michael Penix Jr. has that job. Just one touchdown pass through 2 games, but is a talented young player. And Panthers cornerback Shaw Smith weighed on how they'll try to handle their passing game.
We know that he's a left-handed guy, but we're seeing him scan the field a little better than last year. So, you know, we're looking to stop those things as well. Michael, he's also a guy with a lot of experience. So, you know, we're going to look to scheme him up and make sure that we take away a lot of the things that he wants to attack.
I'm Jim Zoki on the Carolina Panthers Radio Network.
Hi, this is Sal from Grow Your Garden with Sal. Every Saturday at 8 a.m. on The Point, we'll give you tips on gardening and planting while showcasing local farms. Join us here Saturday mornings at 8 a.m. right here on The Point.
Is The Point. Make thepointradio.com. The Point. Ooh, you shouldn't have pressed that button. Oh. Now you get this.
Gators will lose, as always. Gators will lose. Okay, we're back. We got a lot to do here in a half hour. Let's get back at it. And Hugh Gray still with us. Going to go to that second half. Newberry, just fill us in there on how the Bulldogs wrapped up that win, Hugh.
Okay, sure, Phil. Bulldogs had that 35-21 lead at halftime. Came out first drive of the second half. Kenton Caldwell hits Cash Brown on a long pass to put 7 more on the board, go up 42-21. Eric Rubio kicks a field goal a few minutes later. It's 45-21. And at that point, I think Newberry kind of called off the dogs a little bit and allowed Fairfield Central to score a couple of more times, a touchdown and a field goal. I mean, a touchdown and a PAT, and then a touchdown, but the PAT was no good, so the final score was 45-34, and the Bulldogs look forward to Saluda next week.
Awesome. They are having a great year, and we appreciate you. We'll talk to you next week.
All right, buddy. Thank you.
Thank you, Hugh. Okay, let's stay with it. Let's stay on the move here. David Shelton standing by as well. We go to Kevin Selman, voice of T.L. Hanna. And, man, what a win, what a game to go to Greenwood and pick up this W tonight. Kevin, how did the Yellow Jackets pull it out?
Well, it was a big night for the Yellow Jackets, winning 22-21 in late fashion. The Yellow Jackets started off slowly. We were playing without our starting quarterback tonight, who was out last week from a concussion. So we started out down 14-0 in the first quarter. We're able to cut it to 21-9 by halftime, and then in the second half, some adjustments were made, and the Yellow Jackets were able to shut out the Eagles in the second half, and eventually got that run game greased up and going. They rushed for, as a team, we rushed for about 300 yards on 45 carries, almost 7 yards a carry to get the win. But the big story was the defense in the second half. They really put the clamps down on the Greenwood quarterback, Tristan Lewis, who, man, he's quite the specimen. He looks like Cam from Auburn. You know what I'm talking about.
Cam Newton.
Cam Newton, yeah. How did I forget that? He really looks like him. Carolina's getting quite the player in him.
Yep. And I made him. This game was played at Hannah, right?
It was played at Hannah, yes. That's right.
Okay, my bad. Yep. So it was at Hannah, so you didn't have to go anywhere. They had to come to you.
No, not tonight.
A great home win, and you did it with your backup quarterback, and you rallied from 21 down at the half. That's something right there.
It really was. And, Coach Tone is known for making adjustments. And I tell you, if you've seen us run the wing to you ever before, it takes a while to get going sometimes, but once you get it figured out, it's like a snowball, and it can't be stopped. And that's really how it got started. It was a slow start, like I said, for the Jackets, but once they got going, it was tough to stop, and eventually were able to get the lead and hang on there in the end. So it was a big win. We got a week next week. We're at home once again. We host the Malden Mavericks next week in Region 1, 5A play. So hopefully have another productive Friday night next Friday night.
Well, we thank you. Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy your game tomorrow with Clemson, and we'll talk to you next week.
Yep. Sounds good. Thanks, Phil.
All right. Hey, David. David Shelton, what do you think about this T-Hill Hannah Greenwood game tonight? Yellow Jackets rallying in the second half.
The most surprising thing I heard him say was Greenwood did not score in the second half of that game. That is a unbelievable defensive effort, because Greenwood, just Tristan Lewis by himself can find a way to score once.
Yeah.
And when he said they had 21 at halftime, I said, well, they had 21 to end the game, and I was listening to see if maybe we had the score wrong, but they didn't score in the second half. And that is just, if you give a game ball, you got to give the defense at T.L. Hannah a game ball. That's amazing.
Yeah, that is awesome. And that he is, South Carolina's recruited that kid as a safety, but he is an offensive weapon. Talking about the Greenwood quarterback, Tristan Lewis. I think they're going to have to. I'm not coaching at Carolina, but right.
You got to give him a look, or at least maybe a wide receiver, because he's big and strong and can run, and he's tough and he breaks tackles, and but if they want to play him at safety, that's fine. But they're getting two guys. They're getting Current from South Point and Tristan Lewis. And I think they're both looking at him as safety. So, one of them could go to the offensive side of the ball and play receiver and be very good.
Okay, let me pass along some finals that we are getting in. Thanks for the text messages on this. Our text line number, 803-900-4847. Philip Simmons beat Well Branch 46-14. Bamberg 48, Woodland 7. Double overtime, Wando 24, West Ashley 21. Hilton Head 45, Hampton County 21. Also, Greenville Hurricanes defeated Providence Athletic Club 27-6. That game was called in the fourth quarter. Still goes down as a dub. Okay, let's welcome in tonight, covering Myrtle Beach and Irmo. We welcome in and we tip our cap to the new Hall of Famer at Coastal Carolina, former voice, former AD. He did everything there but play quarterback. Matt Hogue, who did the Myrtle Beach Irmo game tonight down in the Myrtle Beach area. And welcome in, sir, and congratulations to you.
Bill, thank you so much. Quite an honor, and really appreciative of the committee's decision on that. And we'll be looking forward to that induction ceremony here in a few weeks. And had a chance to fill in for Myrtle Beach Seahawk voice Lane Harris, who's with the Chanticleers down in Mobile, Alabama, for tomorrow's game. And I watched a offensive display by the Irmo Yellow Jackets, close to 600 yards total offense tonight. Dre Dobson, the senior quarterback, 426 through the air, 17 of 27 completions, and 4 touchdowns. And he had 3 receivers go over 100 yards catching tonight. Malik Miller led the way, 7 catches, 230 yards, had 1 of the 4 touchdowns. Any suspense in this one was taken care of late in the first quarter in a 7-7 game. Irmo scored on a 68-yard touchdown pass, the only play of the possession, and immediately blocked a Myrtle Beach punt in the end zone for a touchdown, and they were off to the races at that point, 21-7. It's worth noting Myrtle Beach did play without Tanner Gaddy, who was out this week with a concussion, and had to start a sophomore quarterback, his first ever start. And Camden DeBrule actually did a pretty good job with 209 yards, a couple of scores. But Mickey Wilson's team tonight just got bowled over by Yellow Jacket team that obviously is priming itself for another run toward a state championship opportunity.
Man, 600 – did you say 600 total yards and 400 passing yards?
Yep, 591 was the actual number on the total yards, and Dobson with 426. And they actually played the backup quarterback, Britton Davis, quite a bit too. He threw for a score, and it was just one of those amazing nights. Irmo never punted. They had one drive that was ended on downs at the end of the first half in Myrtle Beach territory. It was absolute domination, 59-21, the final number.
Well, go grab that Irmo quarterback and fly him down to South Alabama and throw him out there for the shots. You need some offense.
need some offense. I will say, because you are the recruiting guru, Phil, on the defensive side for Irmo, not to be outdone, junior Jaden Bryant, who's getting a lot of attention as advertised. He was all over the field tonight, several sacks, deflected passes, and you can tell he's going to be a big-timer here in a couple of years. And they got the other kid, Nate Carson, as well. Yes, on the offensive line. Yeah, so they're stacked, and those players did their job tonight.
Well, listen, congratulations to you once again. I don't think there's anybody deserves to be in a school Hall of Fame more than you do at Coastal Carolina, because you are the heart and soul of that school for as long as you've been there and the things that you've done. So well deserved. So proud of you, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Absolutely, Phil. I appreciate that. And enjoy the Show Me State.
Yes, indeed. Appreciate that. Yep. We'll see if the Gamecocks can show them anything tomorrow. See what they got. Thank you, Matt Hogue, for that great report. David, how about this Irmo team? I mean, they were great last year, and, they lost their quarterback and they lost their receiver, graduated. But, man, it looks like they just picked it right up.
Yeah, they play a good schedule, too. I mean, it's not like they're, maybe they're way better than Myrtle Beach. But Myrtle Beach is a traditional winning program. But they beat Oceanside to open the season. They beat Burns. I can't remember who else they beat, but they beat every team they've beaten is pretty dang good. So they're getting playoff battle tested right now, and just that quarterback, I saw him against Oceanside early in the opener, and you could tell he made some mistakes. He was a little nervous. Second half, he turned it on, and that's when you went, oh boy, they got him quarterback. So not quite AJ Brand, but he's a pretty good thrower.
Yes, a great offense tonight. Another final score. Thank you for the text, and it's Scotts Branch beating Branchville, 26-8. Final score there. All right, we run to our final break, and when we come back, Coach Scott Early is going to join us. We're keeping Coach Early up late. It's late for early. That's kind of that kind of fits for him. It's late for early, but he'll be with us. He was at that Hannah and Greenwood game, and he'll share some thoughts. And if we get any more reporters rolling in, we'll bring those on the air as well. We'll hit our final break of the night. Back in just a moment.
Football season is upon us, and that means Columbia is welcoming fans from around the corner and across the country. No matter where you're from, Gamecocks love coming together for game day energy that can only be found in South Carolina's capital city. Book hotel rooms, find pre- and post-game activities, and plan your tailgate spread with local favorites from pimento cheese to barbecue at ExperienceColumbiaSC.com. We'll see you soon, and go Gamecocks!
Has your credit seen better days? At Founders Federal Credit Union, we get it. Life happens. That's why we offer personal and auto loans that help you move forward. With flexible terms and a team that sees more than just a number. You don't need perfect credit to start your next chapter. Visit foundersfcu.com or a local office today. Founders, helping you do life on your terms. Membership qualification required. Terms and conditions apply.
South Carolina's taste buds have spoken, and they're asking for beef. There are more than 7,800 farms raising cattle from pasture to plate in the Palmetto State. So whether it's steaks on the grill before the big game, sirloin medallions plated for date night, or burgers with a family, make sure beef is a part of your playbook this football season. Smoked, grilled, and slow roasted. Find the best way to enjoy your beef at scattle.org. Beef, it's what's for dinner in South Carolina. Funded by the South Carolina Beef Council, part of the Beef Checkoff program.
When South Carolina's best high school football players take the field at the Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, they're backed by a powerful team of their own. As proud title sponsors, your local co-ops celebrate more than just a game. It's a tradition where talent shines, where teamwork matters, and where community spirit takes center stage. Don't miss the 78th Touchstone Energy Cooperatives Bowl, December 13th at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium in Myrtle Beach, powered by your electric cooperative.
Okay, it's late for early. We appreciate Coach Scott Early for hanging in there with us. Executive Director of the South Carolina Athletic Coaches Association, making the rounds of football games. Tonight, he made the short ride over to T.L. Hannah. That used to be foreign territory for him now, but no school is foreign territory for him any longer. And we appreciate you joining us, Coach, and thanks for hanging in. What did you think of that game tonight, one of the best games in the state?
Well, I mean, it was definitely a tale of two halves. I mean, in the Tristan Lewis and Greenwood, I don't want to say a one-man show, but he's really impressive. And Hannah just they had a ton of penalties in the first half, offensively, and they hung around and then kept running the wing tee and. It was an amazing finish. It was like, in the first half they have no chance, and then they win. So it's another impressive win by Jason Tone. And I'm sort of detached, but when you look at football, I felt like tonight was the region championship in that region, and with seeing the Greenville score tonight and other things, I think Hannah could end up winning a region championship, and they will look back to the night and the perseverance that they had in a desperate situation, and then come out with a win. I just think that's going to carry a lot of confidence in the rest of the year in that region. And Greenwood played great also, but at times it was one-dimensional, but it was a really good high school football game in a really good atmosphere.
Well, it's good to see the Greenwood program, coming along and kind of getting back to where it's been, in the past, and T.L. Hanna continuing its success, a backup quarterback tonight. They rush for about 300 yards, so they do what they do. Across the state in the low country, if you could have taken the coach's helicopter, the coach's chopper down to Charleston, you'd have gone and seen that Dutch Fork Oceanside Collegiate game. And how about the young coach turning it on the old coach there with OC coming away with that win?
Well, I just think there's more to meet the eye there. I think there's tremendous parity in high school football. I don't know that I've seen this kind of parity in years, and I think, anything can happen, and I think that makes it really good for the high school football fans, and it's going to be interesting to see how this plays out, but there's a lot of parity at all levels in high school football.
Yeah. All across the state we see some surprising games and and we see some lopsided games. You're going to get that as well. In the Columbia area tonight, Coach, AC Flora, which has been having a really good year, and South Point, which had that big win over Northwestern last week, and South Point comes to Columbia and gives the Falcons their first loss. And then that Irmo team, we just had a report on that. How about Irmo going down to Myrtle Beach and putting up over 600 yards?
Well, I knew last week after that South Point Northwestern score that probably was going to make Page and his guys a little mad, and you can see a running clock in the second half against, how about Jake Bentley, chip off the old block, doing a great job, and tonight they were just, totally overmatched. And then, it's kind of like, week by week now in high school football, and I don't know that we've seen that in a while. But yeah, that was definitely a great win. But hats off to AC Flora, like to play a game like that and be able to spread them out. And Roper Winsky reminds me of J.D. Melton in 2003, like a little undersized, tough kid. He did some really good things tonight. I just hope he's healthy in that battle. But I kind of look at AC Flora as, there's no such thing as moral victories, but that was a pretty good job by AC Flora to hang in there like that and play a game like that. And Dutch Fork's vulnerable, and Gaffney, transfer out, and now we at Boiling Springs and get a big win. And it's just like, usually you can pretty much predict high school football, but I think this year it's unpredictable, and I think that's good for high school football, and it's good for the fans of high school football.
Absolutely. And, of course, next week on the 24th, releasing the rosters for the Touchstone Energy Bowl, and then the Shrine Bowl rosters come out on the 25th, so a big week next week.
Yeah, we got a big announcement on Wednesday, and I know the coaches are going to be on the show, and with the moving dates of the Shrine Bowl changing their, changing the announcement of the Shrine Bowl, I think this may be the first time ever that North-South is actually going to announce first, and I think the Shrine Bowl's got some, internet TV deals where they're going to be a little later than us. But, with the new rule this year of no taking or giving between teams with, the opt-outs and injuries, I think it'll be pretty intriguing to see that play out too. So it should be a great week for high school football and in general, but especially for our two All-Star games.
Coach, we thank you very much. Talk to you next week. Have a great night and a great weekend.
You too, Phil. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much. Okay, let's get one final reporter on, and she's a newcomer to the Scoreboard show. We thank her very much. Cam Jackson, who covers high school football in the Upstate for the Greenville News and Spartanburg Herald-Journal, the Anderson Independent Mail. That's all one group up there. And Cam, thank you for joining us. You were at that Gaffney game tonight, so that's great to hear about the situation at Gaffney with the quarterback leaving and all that, but didn't seem to bother them tonight.
No, not at all. You got it right. I mean, I was kind of shocked with, I guess, how well – well, I wasn't shocked with how well they played, but I didn't necessarily expect it to be a blowout. But Banks looked like he's been the starter all season. He had like 273 passing yards, a rushing touchdown, 2 receiving touchdowns. One of them was for like 57 yards. So, yeah, he looked great. The team looked great.
So the controversy and everything related to Gilmore departing and all that news about that, and you were on top of that story in the Upstate, didn't seem to affect the guys. They were focused on the task at hand, dealing with Boiling Springs tonight.
Absolutely. It's funny because the day I went to Gaffney to talk to Donnie Littlejohn about the situation, there were some coaches sitting on the sideline, and I was just kind of chatting it up with them, and they told me, they were like, yeah, we don't think it's that big of a deal. I mean, like, we're ready for this. And I think part of that is because they had a lot of faith in Banks even when Javon was there. Like, they were kind of splitting time, but I think if you really wired it down, Banks probably got more snaps. And I think they were just really confident in him. But, yeah, like on the sideline, the guys looked happy. They all looked joyful. They really didn't miss a beat. And after talking with Banks after the game, I could tell that he was really confident tonight. And I think being able to just stay in the game, he was really able to find his rhythm. And I think it really benefited him and the team tonight.
Defense. They obviously played some good defense, holding the Bulldogs to 7 points.
Yeah. I was going to mention that their defense is really, really good. They had a shutout earlier in the year against JL Man. They almost had a shutout this game. Boiling Springs scored like really late, I think, with like 2 minutes left. But yeah, Zion Ratchford, the ECU commit, he got a really nice interception. Ty McGill got a really nice interception. Zion Dawkins, they were just all over them. It was really hard. Boiling Springs was really struggling to move the ball, but you could see why. The defense is just very smothering, and you could just tell they go out there with like so much tenacity, so much intensity. They're a hard team to score on for sure.
Yeah. We thank you so much, and it's great to hear from you. Look forward to hearing you from your game next week. Thanks again.
Of course. Thanks so much for having me.
Thank you. Okay, Cam Jackson from the Upstate. We thank her for joining us tonight. David Shelton, final thoughts from you on a very active Friday night across South Carolina.
Well, I was listening to Scott early, and I just wanted to kind of reiterate what he said about the parity. I think I was thinking about this during the week. Usually you can go down each classification and go, these are the top 3 teams, and one of these 3 teams is going to win it. Man, it's hard to say that right now in any classification. I think there are more potential state championship teams after 4 weeks than I can ever remember. Like 3A, you got Newberry, you got Morris, you got Belton Honeypath, you got Mountain View Prep. Oh, and by the way, you got Oceanside Collegiate. So, I mean, whereas at the beginning of the year, before it all started, you go, probably BHP and probably Oceanside. They'll probably play each other again.
Well, let me jump in. Let me jump in, my friend. We got to go. We'll talk to you next week. Have a great weekend, everybody.